So in this video, we are going to learn how to add Elementor form responses in different Google Sheet. Let's say you have created an online form using Elementor, and on the basis of what option the user is going to select while making the form submission, you want to add those form responses in different Google Sheets. So in this video, we will see how you can actually automate this process. And in this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form response, automatically on the basis of what option the user has selected, we are going to add the data of form submission as a new row in that particular Google Sheet. Let's say if the user selects option 1, then we are going to add the form response in Google Sheet 1. If the user selects option 2, we are going to add the responses in Google Sheet 2. So if you want to know how you can set up this kind of automation, for that you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Elementor to Google Sheets. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on. Where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with our trigger window. Now the idea here is I have created an online form using Elementor. And in this form, I'm giving the user 3 different options that for which product they are looking for which product they want some details or they are inquiring. So in the drop down, you can see there are 3 different options. Now here guys, for each product, I have a different Google Sheet created. So I want, for example, if the user selects Pabbly Connect as a product, then the details of that user should be added in this sheet named as Pabbly Connect. If the user selects Pabbly subscription billing, the details of that particular form response, that user should be added into a Google spreadsheet named as Pabbly subscription billing. And if the user selects the Pabbly email marketing, then I want to add the details of that form response in this Google spreadsheet named as Pabbly email marketing. So here guys, in this way, on the basis of which product, which option the user is selecting while making the form submission, on that basis, we want to basically add the responses of form submission to different Google Sheet. So we are going to set up an automation for this use case. So let's begin. Starting from our trigger window in Choose App, first we are going to search for Elementor. Because the first step is getting form responses from Elementor in our Pabbly Connect workflow. After selecting Elementor, in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select the trigger event as New Form Submission. After selecting our trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect the form which we have created using Elementor with Pabbly Connect. So what we have to do, to use this webhook URL and add into the form which we have created in Elementor, we just have to follow the help text given below over here. Just copy this webhook URL from here and then just go to the form which we have created in Elementor and open this form in edit mode. After opening this form, just hover on it and on the right top corner, you can see this edit form option. Just click on it. Then on the left side, here you can see an option named as actions after submit. Just click on it and here in add action from the drop down, select webhook. As we select webhook, here you can see a new option of webhook is added just below that. Just click on it and here it is asking us for the webhook URL. Now here in this field of webhook URL, we have to copy the webhook URL given by Pabbly Connect and then just paste it over here. And after pasting this webhook URL, just click on update button. And this is it. We have successfully connected this form which we have created using Elementor with Pabbly Connect. Now every time we receive a new form submission in this form, the details of the form submission, the form responses will be received inside Pabbly Connect and this automation workflow will trigger. So here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, it is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some details, some form responses from Elementor. So now what we are going to do, we are going to make a test form submission, a dummy form submission over here. I will just open this form in preview mode and I'm going to make a form submission over here. For example, the name of the person is demo user. Then it is asking us for the email. The email address is this. And then this is a dummy mobile number. Then let's enter the city. For example, the city is Delhi. And then here in you are looking for from the drop down, we are going to select one product. Let's select Pabbly Connect over here, for example, and click on submit. Now, as we click on submit, here you can see we have received a form submission, a response in this form. And because we have connected this Elementor form with Pabbly Connect, we will see in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger window, instantly within seconds, we have received some response. And in this response, you can see the details of the exact same form submission. Here you can see the same option, the same product which we have selected while making this form submission, that was Pabbly Connect. You can see the same mobile number which we have entered, same first name, last name, email and the city. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Elementor form with Pabbly Connect and received the form submission, the form responses in our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now after this, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, we want to add these form responses into Google Sheets. But here guys, we have the condition. Like here in this automation workflow, we have 3 different routes, 3 different branches on the basis of what product, what option the user is going to select while making the form submission. On that basis, we are going to decide that in which Google spreadsheet we are going to add these form responses. So basically, we have 3 different products, which means we have 3 different routes, 3 different branches in this automation workflow. And to add these kind of condition in our automation workflow, we will be using a feature, a module of Pabbly Connect that is called router. Just scroll down, come to this action window, and here in choose apps, select router over here. After selecting router by Pabbly, by default it has created 2 different routes in this automation workflow. But because we have 3 different options, so I'm going to add another route, the third route as well. And we are going to set up each and every route over here. Starting from our first route, now in the first route we want that if the user has selected Pabbly Connect as the option, as the product, then I want that this automation workflow should be continued using this first route. So if you get the response of you are looking for as Pabbly Connect, then this automation workflow should be continued using route 1. So let's set up this route. Click on this set filter and action step, but before that we are just going to rename it. For example, I would like to name this route as Pabbly Connect and click on update. So we have renamed this route. Now click on this set filter and action step button, and the first thing it asks us is the filter. That what is the filter? What is the condition? On what basis this automation workflow is going to decide that the automation workflow should be continued using this route? Now the condition that we have is we should receive the response of you are looking for. For this response, for this field, the response should be Pabbly Connect. If we get Pabbly Connect as the response for this label for this field, then the automation workflow should be continued using this route. So we are going to set up the same condition in this filter step for this route. Here in filter step in select label, in this drop down you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Elementor of the form submission. Out of all of these responses, select this response of you are looking for, select this particular label, then the filter type will be equals to and the value will be Pabbly Connect. So if we get Pabbly Connect as the value for this label for this response, then this automation workflow will be continued using this route. Now let's click on save and send test request. And after clicking on save and send test request, here you can see it is showing us the condition is true. Because the response which we have captured in the trigger window in Elementor trigger step right now is of the product Pabbly Connect. We have received this Pabbly Connect response over there. That's why it is showing us the condition is true. And if this condition will be true, then the automation workflow will be continued using this route. Now while going through this route, what is the next step we want to do? We want to add these form responses into this Google Sheet named as Pabbly Connect Leads. So what I'm going to do, just click on this add action step button. And then here in this action step, we are going to search for Google Sheets. Just select it. After selecting Google Sheets, in action event from the drop down, we are going to select the action event as add new row because we want to add a new row of data in our Google Sheet. We have the city as well over here. Let's add another column of city. So after this, after adding this new row, selecting add new row as the action event, just click on this connect button and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Sheets account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, just click on this Sign in with Google button. Then after that, just select your Google Sheets account, the account in which you have created your Google Sheet in which you want to add these form responses. Then just scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Sheets account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is to select the spreadsheet. So here in this drop-down, you can see a list of all the spreadsheets, all the Google Sheets which we have created in our Google Sheets account. From this drop-down, we have to select the sheet that in which sheet we want to add these form responses using this route. So using this route, we want to add the form responses in this Google Sheet named as Pabbly Connect Leads. So here guys, I'm going to select this spreadsheet over here. Then after selecting the spreadsheet, it is asking us for the sheet. So it is most likely possible that in your Google spreadsheet, you might have created multiple sheets over here. Now in which sheet you want to add this new row of data, you have to select that sheet over here in this drop down. Right now in this Google spreadsheet, I have only one sheet named as sheet 1. That's why in the drop down, you can see only one option of sheet 1. Then after that, it is asking us first name, last name, email, mobile number and city. So all the columns of data which we have created in this Google spreadsheet, you can see all of these columns as fields over here in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this Google Sheets Actions tab. Now one by one, the responses, the form responses which we have received from Elementor, one by one we have to map all of these responses into their respective fields. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and here in this drop down, you can see the responses which we have received from Elementor in the trigger window. We will just click here and here in the drop down, you can see all of these responses. And one by one, we are going to select and map the responses. Like here in this field of first name, we are going to select the response of first name and it will be mapped. So whatever first name the user is going to enter while making the form submission, the same response will be captured inside Pabbly Connect and we are going to add the same details in our Google Sheet as a new row. After first name, let's map the response of last name. And the process of mapping stays the same. Just click on this field from the drop down, select the response of last name and it will be mapped. Then let's map the email. Just click here from the drop down, select and map the response of email. Then let's map the mobile number. Here it is. And at last, let's map the city as well. Here is the response of city. In this way, all the details, all the form responses which we are receiving from Elementor, one by one, you have to map all of these form responses into their respective field. If you have added more or less fields in your Google form, you just have to enter or create the headers, create the columns of those fields in your Google Sheet. And you will see all of those columns as field in Pabbly Connect. So you can map the respective data into their field. And after mapping the data in each and every field, just click on this Save and Send Test Request button. And after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, you can see we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the form responses which we have received from Elementor for this product named as Pabbly Connect, these form responses is now added as a new row in our Google Sheet. The sheet named as Pabbly Connect Leads. So let's check it. We will go to this Google Sheet and yes, here you can see that the same form responses, the same responses of form submission which we have just now made in Elementor, the same form responses is now added as a new row. You can see the same first name, same last name, demo user, same email, same mobile number and the same city. This means the first route of this automation workflow is created successfully. Now, every time the user is going to select Pabbly Connect as the option in this dropdown while making the form submission, the automation workflow will be continued using this first route which we have created and the form responses will be added in this Google Sheet named as Pabbly Connect Leads. So here in this video, I just took an example of 3 different products. But basically, you can set up this kind of automation for any amount of product, any amount of routes over here. You can basically create unlimited routes in your automation workflow. And also, I have just added the data, the form responses in this Google Sheet. But if you want, you can add multiple steps after this as well. Like for example, if you want to send a WhatsApp message, email, SMS, or add these leads into your CRM, you can add those action steps as well in the routes which we are creating. So it is basically according to your choice that what kind of action events you want to perform using this route. After setting up the first route, we are going to set up the route 2 and route 3 as well. And the process will be exactly the same. The only thing which we are going to change is the filter condition and the Google spreadsheet. So let's set up route 2. We will just rename this route as Pabbly subscription billing. This is the name and click on update. So we have renamed this route. We'll just set filter and action step. Here in filter and select label, we are going to select the same label you are looking for. We are going to check for this response. So we have selected that label. The filter type will be equals to, and because we want to set up this route for Pabbly subscription billing for the user who are selecting Pabbly subscription billing as the option. So in value, we are going to enter that value. And then just click on this Save and Send Test Request button. Now, after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, you will see we are going to get a response as the condition is false. Now here guys, while setting up this automation in the trigger step, we have captured the response of Pabbly Connect. So here you can see the response which we have captured in trigger is of Pabbly Connect. And we are setting up this route, setting up this filter for Pabbly subscription billing. That's why it has given us the response as the condition is false, because we haven't received Pabbly subscription billing in this response. So if the user has not selected Pabbly subscription billing, then in that case, the automation will not be continued using this route. Only the condition is user should select Pabbly subscription billing in this dropdown. After this, what we want to do, we want to set up the same Google Sheets step. Just click on this Add Action Step button, and once again, we are going to search for Google Sheets. Select Google Sheets. And here in Action Event, we are going to select the same action event, Add New Row. Just click on Connect. After clicking on Connect, it is once again asking us to connect our Google Sheets account. Now, if you have created the Google spreadsheet in the same account, what you can do, instead of making a new connection, you can select the existing connection and click on Save. But just in case, if you have different Google Sheets in different account as well, then in that case, you can add another Google Sheets account and add this data to the Google Sheet of another account as well. After connecting the account, here it is asking us to select the spreadsheet. So here from the drop down, this time we are going to select Pabbly subscription billing, this spreadsheet, because we want that the details of the user who are selecting Pabbly subscription billing, this option, the details of those users should be added to this particular spreadsheet. After selecting spreadsheet, we have to select the sheet, and one by one, we have to map all the data. So the process of mapping stays the same. We are going to map the first name, last name, and similarly, we are going to map the data in all the columns which we have created. Mobile number and city. Select it and map it. Now here guys, after mapping all of these details, I'm just going to click on this Save button. Because we have captured the response of this user named as demo user for Pabbly Connect. We have selected Pabbly Connect while capturing the response in trigger. So that's why I haven't clicked on Save and Send Test Request. I have just clicked on Save and saved this step. Then after saving the step, whenever the user is going to select Pabbly subscription billing, user is going to select this option. In that case, the responses of that form submission will be added in a Google Sheet of this particular product. Then after that, let's set up the route 3 as well. And the process stays the same. What we are going to do, we are just going to change the filter condition and the Google spreadsheet. Now, instead of setting up the complete route, you can actually clone the existing created route. Like we have created this route, what we can do, we can just clone this exact same route with the same step and same map data. You can just delete this route which we have added. And then let's rename this third route, the clone route over here. Just click here. Let's rename it as Pabbly Email Marketing. And click on Update. So we have basically cloned our existing route, and then we will just go to this Set Filter and Action step. And you can see the same steps which we have added in the previous route is now already added over here. We are going to change the filter condition as Pabbly Email Marketing. This is the filter condition. And click on Save and Send. So after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, once again, it is going to give us the condition as false because we have captured the response for Pabbly Connect over here. So if the user is going to select Pabbly email marketing as the option, in that case, this automation workflow will be continued using this route. After filter step, we are going to set up the Google Sheet step as well. So here in this Google Sheet step, what we have to change, we just have to change the spreadsheet. So here in select spreadsheet from the drop down, we are going to select this spreadsheet for Pabbly email marketing. We have selected this, and after selecting the spreadsheet, what we have to do, we will just configure or map the same fields as well. So the sheet is the same, that is sheet 1, and because we have connected the same sheet and we have the same columns of data in all the sheets, it has already mapped all of this data. So if you want, you can just remap it, or you can just keep this data as well and click on save over here. And after clicking on save, we have successfully created this third route as well. And now we have successfully created this complete automation workflow between Elementor and Google Sheet. And using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Elementor, on the basis of what option the user is going to select while making the form submission, we are going to add the Elementor form responses into that particular Google Sheet. So guys, after setting up this automation, we are going to test this automation workflow once. We'll go to the Elementor form and we are going to make a test form submission. For example, the name of the person is test user. This is the email address. This is a dummy mobile number which we are going to enter. The city is, for example, Mumbai. And then here in product, you are looking for, this time, let's select Pabbly subscription billing and click on this submit button. Now, as we click on submit, you will see this form response is received. Just now in Elementor, we have received a new form submission for the product Pabbly subscription billing. And as we receive this form submission, we will see instantly within seconds, the form response will be added into the Google Sheet of the product which the user has selected. So we have selected Pabbly subscription billing. So we will go to the Google Sheet of Pabbly subscription billing. And yes, here you can see that the same form responses are now added in this Google spreadsheet. And this form response is not added in rest of the two Google Sheets as well. So here, because the user has selected Pabbly subscription billing, that's why the responses of form submission is added to this Google Sheet. Now let's test this automation workflow once again for Pabbly email marketing as well. So this time the name of the person is dummy user. This is the email address. And this is another dummy mobile number. The city is, for example, Bhopal. And this time we are going to select the product as Pabbly email marketing. Let's click on submit. So form submission is just now received in Elementor for Pabbly email marketing. And we will go to the Pabbly email marketing Google Sheet, and yes, instantly within seconds, the form response is added to that sheet. And this form response is not added to the other two sheets of Pabbly Connect and Pabbly subscription billing. So we have tested this automation in real time, and this automation is working perfectly fine. So what we have done, we have connected Elementor to Google Sheet in such a way that whatever option the user is going to select in Elementor, on that basis, the responses of that form submission will be added to that particular Google Sheet. And as I told you, in this video, I just took an example of 3 different options. But if you want, you can set up the same automation workflow for more than 3 products as well. You can basically create any option, any number of options in your form, and you can create as many routes in your automation workflow. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can basically clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestion, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.